An Eastlake couple fought back against a large water bill for more than 2 years. They thought it was an obvious mistake on the part of Atlanta's Department of Watershed Management. They expected a quick credit. End of story. Instead, they ended up in a long fight that involved taking the city to court. The Fox 5 team's Dana Fowle is here. She has been on this journey with them. And now finally, Dana, there is a verdict here, which, my goodness, long time coming.
Yes, we have been on this for quite some time. And this is an investigation, and we've been looking at these large watershed management bills for more than 2 years. And it was the Williamses who first brought the issue to our attention after appeals and a hearing and a courtroom visit. They finally got their answer. They took on City Hall and they won. This is a how-to for any account holder in the same predicament. Jeffrey Williams.
Yes.
You're a winner.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a long road.
Jeffrey Williams got on that road October 2022. Out of nowhere, over a 4-month period, the water bill for 2 retirees, well, it shot up to more than $12,000. Usually hovered around $153 a month. Fast forward 2 years and a few months to January 2025. The Fulton County judge's final order started with this, the saga of the Williamses' water bills, and it ends with the court finds that reversal is required here. They no longer owed the city $12,000. But the story that happens in between those two statements is worth hearing.
It started out, like you said, with what I thought was a simple situation of our meter not accurately reporting the water usage.
EPA estimates of average usage showed their bills had them consuming 3.8 years worth of water in those few short months. But nothing in their home had changed.
I move that there's no adjustments.
Mr. Williams asked the Atlanta Department of Watershed Management to correct what he believed to be a bill that inaccurately measured his water usage. Well, they said no. You're building a pool?
No. No pool, no jacuzzi, no sprinkler system.
So Mr. Williams called in a plumber. He didn't find a leak, but the expert did find and attested to a water meter measuring water usage incorrectly. Mr. Williams went to the Atlanta Sewer and Water Appeals Board. They also said no to a bill adjustment. And here's the audio of that June 2023 meeting.
We are bound by the same code as the city is. So I therefore move that no further adjustments can be made at this time.
Denied, even though no one, not the neighbors, the homeowner, even the water department even noticed a leak. And we're talking about 3,400 gallons of water every single day. An appeals board member speculated this phantom leak simply fixed itself.
And I was like, a $12,000 leak that fixes itself? I don't think so. I got no one to listen to me, so I had to take it to Superior Court.
That was last March, and he represented himself, no lawyer. The Fulton County Superior Court judge pointed out that an account holder only had 4 options to have a bill corrected. That's according to the city code. A billing error, where numbers were inputted incorrectly, a fee credit, maybe you overpaid, a leak credit, that's a partial refund if a homeowner repairs a leak, and finally, a meter leak. But nothing here covers the possibility of a broken water meter.
Let's say that what the person who did do the inspection from the department, what that person concluded was the meter is broken. It's not leaking, but it is not working correctly. Which of these 4, or that's just too bad for the customer?
City of Atlanta attorney Tracy Hackett.
We have not had that situation to occur that you're mentioning.
Until now.
And based on the read code and the usage code, it's speculative.
Judge McBurney asked the city to resubmit its reason for denying a refund based on city code, not speculation about how a leak no one found could have occurred.
It was basically, he said he couldn't do his job because the decision they issued was, there was nothing there.
The city did offer a fresh argument. The judge still wasn't convinced. He then offered his final word on the matter of the outsized but unexplained water bill. Judge McBurney said there was no leak at the Williamses' residence, and their meter was not accurately measuring water flow. End of case. You beat City Hall.
I guess you could say that. Yeah. I wish I didn't have to.
Right.
But you got to stand up for yourself or they'll just roll you over.
Mr. Williams was the first person to come to us with a big unexplained water bill, but we've talked to others since that time in the same predicament. Sudden high water bills, no leak to be found. Another person sued, a woman, and she also won. And the judge in that case also said that there was no evidence of a leak, none, and would not accept the appeals board speculating about what might have happened. It's just not based in facts.
And it's so interesting, too, that he presented himself in court, which takes a lot of courage to be able to do that and to win.
Yeah, he absolutely did. And, he went to Superior Court, he filed, and when he went to court, the judge was great. He was not expecting him to be an expert or a lawyer. She just asked if he would lay out the facts, have your receipts, your documents, your emails, be prepared, and be organized. The judge was very cool about it. In fact, said, I love that you're doing this. You're representing yourself. You're taking advantage of the system in the way that you legally can. And relax. You don't have to pretend to be a lawyer.
Right.
We'll get through this.
Yeah. I mean, and like you said, we talked about this in the 7 a.m. hour, that $12,000 is a lot of money for a normal person. That is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. And the judge mentioned that too. He said, and I wish I could remember the baseball player's name, he said, unless you were so-and-so, $12,000 is meaningful to every person in this room.
Absolutely.
And it is.
I'm glad it's resolved for him.
Yes.
Yeah, interesting story, Dana. Thanks so much.